The 49ers offense is caught in the upside down. Kyle Shanahan's offensive scheme has always been about marrying the run game with play action. Short, quick passes that pick up tons of yards after the catch. But this year, things are completely the opposite. Here we've got ADOT, which is how far down the field you throw on average, how often Purdy holds the ball longer than 2.5 seconds, his yards after the catch per completion, and how far down the field he's completing passes per attempt. We can see they're running less play action, throwing the ball way downfield way more, holding the ball longer, and way less yards after the catch. That last one is definitely the most shocking. The 49ers have been top 5 in the metric in 6 of Kyle Shanahan's 7 full seasons, but this year they've slid all the way down to 28th. There are some simple, general answers to this conundrum, and then some more complicated 49ers specific ones as well. Simply enough, when you throw the ball further down the field like Purdy has this season, your yak numbers are going to go down. The relationship between how far down the field you throw and yak is like a seesaw. When one goes up, the other goes down. If you think of a go ball outside, your air yards are higher, but it's less likely you're going to catch the ball and run since the placement and timing is less precise, and because your body is not in a position to do so, you're just trying to haul in the pass. A low ADOT and high yards after the catch is what Shanahan's offense has always been predicated on. We throw short, quick-hitting routes, usually over the middle, and Deebo Samuel or Brandon Ayuk or George Kittle or whoever catches a 9-yard pass and takes it 70 yards down the field. The reasons for the 49ers' change in offensive style is two-pronged. Their skill position players have been injured and Brandon Ayuk has regressed, and defenses have been playing them differently because of those injuries, namely to Christian McCaffrey. Before we dive deeper into what the hell is going on here, I want to thank this week's sponsor, Factor. Factor is a company that delivers fresh, never frozen, dietitian-approved meals directly to your front door. They have 35 options that change every week, including Gourmet Plus, Keto, Calorie Smart, Vegan, Veggie, the whole 9 yards. They have got it all. It's perfect for me, somebody who's grinding in the lab nonstop trying to figure out whether or not Isaac Guerendo has fully grasped mid-zone footwork. So I don't have time for grocery shopping, I don't have time to prepare and cook meals for myself. Factor is so flexible for me, I can adjust my order size if I'm eating with somebody, or skip a week if I'm going on the road to watch frickin' Dolphins Colts. To get started, head to factor75.com or click the link below and use code AlexRollinsNFL to get 50% off your first Factor box and 20% off your next month of orders. That's AlexRollinsNFL at factor75.com to get 50% off your first box and 20% off your next month of orders. To start off answering our question, why the big change, we need to define what the 49ers and Shanahan have always loved to do so we know what defenses have been taking away. Their passing game has always been centered around 3 main concepts: play action slide, drift, and Yankee. Play action slide is where Purdy will fake a bootleg to one side to get the defense flowing to that side, then have a receiver cutting back across the formation who the defense can't cover. Drift is a quicker hitting play action concept, where Purdy play fakes directly up the middle, then a receiver runs a quick 5-step dig that breaks in behind the linebackers. And Yankee is a longer developing play action concept, where once again, a play fake, then one receiver runs off the deep safety, which opens the other and across behind the second level linebackers. These have all gained the Niners thousands of yards after the catch over the years, but this season, as we've seen, that number is near the bottom of the league, and it's because without McCaffrey lining up in the backfield, defenses have been less afraid of the run, have dropped a second safety deep more frequently, which has reduced the effectiveness of all 3 of these concepts. Defenses don't feel the threat of McCaffrey, so instead of keeping the safety typically in the box to add another body to defend the run, now they can drop him deep to defend the pass. Here is the drift concept, where Jawan Jennings is going to cut in front of the safety and potentially gain a ton of yak. But with the Seahawks playing too high and the linebackers dropping easily into the window, the play gets shut down. A big reason this concept typically worked against one-high safeties is because when teams are playing one-high, they are putting enough guys in the box to place one defender in each gap, referred to as gapped out in football talk, where each defender can fly up the field knowing that if the running back cuts back to the next gap over, there's another buddy filling it. It's way harder for offenses to run on one-high safety coverages with stacked boxes because there are no open, unmanned gaps to cut back into. But, on the other hand, play action is way deadlier against one-high because each guy has a gap. Let me explain. Since each guy has a gap, they have to shoot it upfield. So when a receiver is screaming past them, they're often responsible for A, their gap, and B, the receiver. Well, in two-high safety coverages, since the second safety is deep, we are out-gapped on defense, so the defensive line isn't going to shoot their gaps upfield. They have multiple gaps to defend. They are more going to control the line of scrimmage and not try to get around the offensive line, kinda hold in place, which also frees up the linebackers a bit. Since they aren't required to shoot a specific gap, they can slow play things a bit more, fit in where needed, more passively. In general, this makes the run game more effective, but this is a major reason why the 49ers have used way less play action, because defenses are just in way less conflict when they're playing these two high safety coverages. The Seahawks played a lot of Tampa 2 zone, cover 2 zone coverages with two deep safeties and a middle run-through linebacker, so they flooded these middle zones with defenders, and the 49ers' bread and butter concepts were shut down. You can see how their play-action slide concepts have been neutralized against these types of coverages too. While here the play fake does work against the second level, because cover 2 zone has two deep safeties, the cornerbacks play the flats, so Devon Witherspoon is just sitting and waiting for the slide route, and the 49ers pick up a measly 2 yards. Not only could defenses shut down their staple concepts, but they also could drop even deeper in coverage knowing that Christian McCaffrey wasn't in the backfield to catch checkdowns, so they haven't been as worried if Jordan Mason or whoever catches a little dump-off pass underneath. The other problem with these concepts is that Brandon Ayuk has just not been as good as usual. He wasn't gaining his typical separation, so even when the 49ers get the one high safety in man coverage, which for them is almost just as good as zone, Ayuk should be able to cut inside underneath the safety and pick up a ton of yak like he has before, but he just hasn't been separating in man coverage, even against an aging Trey White, and now he won't even be on the field. This isn't to say their offense has been bad, just different. Purdy still has 8.5 yards per attempt, third best in the league, so they haven't really been worse, just have been forced to alter their strategy to win in different ways given how defenses have adjusted to them without CMC and meh play from Ayuk. Shanahan's still as good as ever at scheming up defenses, like check out this play. Since the 49ers trot out 21 personnel with 2 running backs and a tight end, the Seahawks are forced to match with their 3-4 base defense, which typically has 5 defenders on the line. But since the 49ers use a twins formation and put both Debo and Ayuk on the same side, since the Seahawks are playing too high, since they're in a 3-4, and since they're playing zone coverage, this is a classic offensive hack where you know you're getting a linebacker on your second receiver, and oftentimes defenses have a pass rusher that has to split out like an Aiden Hutchinson or Von Miller. We saw Brandon Graham on a slot receiver a few weeks ago. This means Shanahan can cook up Boye Mafe and get him one-on-one with Debo Samuel. Again, it's the drift concept, but look how Debo stutters for a sec, then runs. That's because the cornerback in zone coverage has the most outside receiver, but he has to get sticky to Ayuk because they want to shut down this quick drift route. Mafe is definitely not the guy you want running with Debo Samuel, and boom goes the dynamite. Not only has the offense still been effective, but I've also seen Purdy develop as a passer. This video might seem like it has a negative slant, but I think he's playing the best ball of his career. Watch how again they have this drift type concept. Notice there's no play action and no yards after the catch here. But since the Chiefs show 5 on the line for the 49ers' 5 blockers, Purdy knows that means Chris Jones is going to have a one-on-one, so Purdy takes the snap, And watch how he knows to quicken his hitch up in the pocket. Watch how close Jones is to affecting the pass. Purdy turns a potential disaster into a nice chunk pickup. The 49ers offense has still been good, just as I said, different. Of course, things are going to get a little wonkier when you don't have McCaffrey, Debo's missed time, now Ayuk. An offense isn't going to be as good without its best players. And to be honest, with how much defenses have adjusted to what the 49ers are without CMC and without Ayuk playing at his best, now out for the year, I still think they look pretty good. We're gonna get to see Brock Purdy take on a new challenge this year, the biggest in his young career. He'll need to, for the first time, uplift below average talent, as opposed to operating with a purely elite surrounding cast. He's accomplished everything that's come up against him when the odds have been 1 in a billion. Brock Purdy, every time, has always beat expectations.